In the hearts and minds of motorcycle racing cognoscenti, Anaheim is perhaps the preeminent Supercross of the season. Sitting in the heart of Southern California, Angel Stadium is within an hour's drive of the U.S. racing operations for all competing manufacturers, as well as the headquarters for title sponsor Monster Energy. Anaheim has been the opening round in 33 seasons of Supercross. Going into 2024, myriad storylines have long since been established by the pundits and argued ad nauseum by fans. Will Jet Lawrence continue the mercurial performance of his undefeated outdoor campaign, and even, rather he might achieve, the heretofore thought unattainable goal of Jeremy McGrath's all-time win record? Will Brother Hunter be as competitive in the regular season as he was in Paris? How quickly can defending champion Chase Sexton adapt to his new KTM with its even newer frame? Will two-time champion Eli Tomac, the second winningest rider in the history of Supercross, return immediately to form and to the pointy end of the field? Or will it be his new teammate, and also two-time champion Cooper Webb, that posts up the best results for the Blue Crew? Then there is Mookie's return, the wild card entry of newly crowned MXGP champion Jorge Prado. Not to mention, however briefly, former champion Jason Anderson and teammate Adam Cianciarulo, Justin Barcia's decision to stay with the old frame on his gas, and the debut of Beta and Triumph in the field, and a host of other riders that have had race wins and championships at every level, except perhaps this one. It's said that those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it. That doesn't really apply to Supercross racing, but perhaps recent history does cast light on the upcoming race. Eli Tomac won the opener last year in his 10th try. Before that, Kenny Roczen won his 4th opening race in 2022, adding to first-round wins in 2014, 15, and 17. Prior to that race, Justin Barcia had won 3 straight season openers, twice on a Yamaha and then on a gas. Does this mean anything? Well, it's worth noting that in the history of Supercross, 18 times the winner of the opening round has gone on to win the title. Now entrenched as the opening salvo in any new season, Anaheim's first appearance on the schedule was in December of 1976 as the final round of the season. Since then, there have been 81 Supercross races held at Angel Stadium. In 2024, Anaheim will book in the month of January with the opener on the 6th and the 4th round of the series on the 27th. In the first year an Anaheim Supercross was held, it was at the same location and ostensibly the same stadium as we use today. But major changes have been made to the facility. First in 1979 and 80, as its original seating capacity of just over 43,000 fans was expanded to just over 65,000 to accommodate the move-in of the NFL's Los Angeles Rams. When the Rams left Anaheim for St. Louis in 1995, the return to a strictly baseball configuration left a seating capacity of approximately 45,603 for the Los Angeles Angels, and for subsequent Supercross events. Enough with the stick and ball nonsense. We've still got over 40 plus years to cover. Back to racing. A golden god with flowing blonde locks, the first American motocross hero, Marty Smith, would win the first AMA Supercross class race held in Anaheim on December 4th, 1976. On a Honda, of course. The following year, another long-haired wonder kid had become the kingpin of American Supercross. Wild, supremely confident, and ever so brash, Bob Hurricane Hanna had stormed the stadiums and was in his first year of a 3-year-long chain of Supercross crowns. On November 12th of 77, Hanna would again assert his dominance over the field in Anaheim. While Hanna would continue to reign as champion in 1978, Kawasaki-mounted Galen Mosier would sneak the win in November of that year. Preceding a 2-race Anaheim streak by the Rhinestone Cowboy, Suzuki's Ken Howerton. After Hanna infamously broke his leg water skiing, it was Howerton who rose to the top. Howerton won the Anaheim round in 1979 and 1981. There was no Anaheim race in 1980, the first of only 4 such lapses in the race being held at Angels Coliseum in its 48-year history on the schedule. When the Anaheim round returned in 1981, it was in the now more traditional month of January. The years 1982 to 1984 signaled the emergence of Team Honda as the team to beat for the next 20 years. Donnie Hansen, who would win the title that year but suffer career-ending injuries postseason, took the win in '82, followed by the rise of the little professor, David Bailey, who won in '83, and the veteran member of the team, Johnny O'Mara, who won in '84. All three would, in fact, win the only Supercross title of their careers in those respective years. Golden Boy Rick Glover, then nearing the end of his remarkable career, had a magical night in Anaheim in 1985 to break Honda's growing streak of dominance, though it would be Kawasaki's Jeff Ward who would be newly crowned at the championship's end. This would seemingly set up a long-term battle between Ward and Honda's David Bailey, but that was cut short by Bailey's career-ending injury, inexplicably suffered while riding practice for a Golden State National in preparation for the upcoming Supercross season. The 6-time champion, who had just led America to victory at the Motocross des Nations in Maggiore, Italy, in September of 1986, had his career come to a close just months later at Huron Cycle Park near Fresno, California. Yes, Fresno. Still, Ward would continue to battle the mighty Team Honda for Supercross and Motocross dominance, now in the form of Bad Boy Rick Johnson. That struggle would run until Johnson's own ultimately career-ending wrist injury, suffered at the hands of an errant Danny Storbeck at the Gainesville Outdoor Opener of 1989. Ward would split wins with the Honda team. First, Bailey would take the Anaheim battle in 1986, with Johnson winning the war at season's end. Ward would capture not only the win in Anaheim the following year, but also regain his championship title in 1987. That Anaheim race of 1986 always ranks on the list in any discussion of all-time great events. It was a showdown between new Honda teammates David Bailey and Ricky Johnson. The defending series champion, Ward, failed to even qualify for the main event due to a crash in his heat race and a broken throttle cable in his qualifier, which ended his night. At that time, the rules stated that you had to finish the heat race to even make the semis an LCQ. Lore has it that Ward was at a nearby Taco Bell drive-thru and listening to the roar of the crowd as Bailey and Johnson battled. A second one-year hiatus in Anaheim's place in the series occurred in 1988. When the race again returned to the schedule in 1989, the infamous incident with Storbeck had yet to happen, and Rick Johnson was dominant. As it says on the cover of the February 8, 1989 issue of Cycle News, nearly 70,000 fans watched Johnson romp in the Supercross opener. Two Hip would go on to win 2 rounds in Seattle, San Diego, and then Miami on the trot that year. His crash at Gatorback opened the door to new teammates Jeff Stanton's first win, and the changing of the guard that we come to next. Bailey had been grievously injured. Ward was still a warhorse, but he was also aging towards vet class eligibility and had lost maybe half a step. After Johnson's outdoor injury, the bad boy would never race another Supercross, the wrist never healing properly. Thus the era of Jeff Stanton and Damon Bradshaw had emerged. Bradshaw was the 16-year-old wild child from the hills of North Carolina, as brash as Hannah before him, and showing perhaps unprecedented style, speed, and talent. Stanton was the opposite, a journeyman pro with credible results with Yamaha. Joining Honda and training alongside Rick Johnson had transformed Stanton's career. He would take over the '89 championship after RJ's injury, the first of 6 indoor and outdoor titles he would collect from 1989 until 1992. Yes, in championship battle, Stanton would inevitably win the war. Yet it was Yamaha's Bradshaw that would draw the most blood. During their battles throughout their careers, Bradshaw would win 19 Supercross races to Stanton's 17, but would finish 0-3 to the Honda rider in Supercross titles. Anaheim 1990 was the first race of Bradshaw's rookie season. After crashing in his heat race during a battle with then ultra rival Jeff Matasiewicz, Damon found himself relegated to a far outside gate pit. Faced with the daunting prospect of being buried in the pack, Bradshaw simply kept the throttle pinned all the way around the top of a slippery berm, through the first corner, running 90 degrees to the right to take the whole shot, and he would eventually win after battling against Matasiewicz and the newcomer from France, Jean-Michel Bell. Still, it was Stanton who won his second successive Supercross title at the end of the 1990 season, and he came in hot with the Anaheim win in 1991. Though it would be the interloper Bale who would take all three titles, Supercross, 250 outdoors, and 500 outdoors that year. But J&B would soon be off to the GP Road Racing Series after that amazing season, leaving the door open for Bradshaw to again return to the top step of the podium in 1992 at Anaheim. Damon's season would end less successfully just up the road in Los Angeles, in the Coliseum, some months later, with Stanton once again prevailing for his third and final Supercross crown. And then, everything changed. In 1993, Anaheim was the third round in the series, and not the opener. Still, that Anaheim race was the opening of an unforgettable era in our sport. Rookie Jeremy McGrath would launch his CR250 around teammate Jeff Stanton for the lead in the opening laps of the race, and would scarcely look back for the next 8 years. The greatest Supercross rider of all time, and the most charismatic rider our sport has ever seen, was without a doubt American legend Jeremy McGrath. MC dominated the sport to a level never before seen in Supercross, and probably never seen again. Until Jet Lawrence? ? We shall see. In addition to his first ever win at the 1993 Anaheim round, McGrath would take victory in Anaheim in 1994, 95, and 96. Then win 2 Anaheim races in both 2000 and 2001. In all, McGrath's 8 Anaheim victories rank at the top of the Anaheim victory list, tied with James Stewart and Chad Reed's successes still to come. McGrath's run would be interrupted by Anaheim being pulled from the schedule in 1997 and 98, as renovations that would add all those cool bars and restaurants on an upper mezzanine outside the outfield wall, and a bit of rock garden, reduced the stadium capacity. As another quick note, the 97 and 98 series did open in California. The Los Angeles Coliseum subbed in for Anaheim for those 2 years. In both of those races, an international rider with at least one FIM Motocross World Championship to his name won the season opener, South Africa's Greg Alberton and Frenchman's Sebastian Tortelli. Those 2 races represent the only race either rider would ever win in Supercross. When the series returned to Anaheim in 1999, it was Honda's Ezra Luss taking the first of 2 Angel Stadium wins that year. As stated, McGrath would return to the top step of Anaheim 4 times during those 2 years. Then came 2002, and another era of dominance began. Ricky Carmichael had actually taken one of 3 races held in Anaheim in 2001 to McGrath's 2 victories at the venue that same year, signaling another changing of the guard. By 2002, it was all Carmichael, if not at Anaheim Stadium, as the smoke cleared after each of his 5 Supercross championship seasons. Carmichael, already the acknowledged outdoor overlord, would win one of 3 2002 Anaheim races on his way to his first Supercross title. He would add 2 wins each at Anaheim in the years of 2003, 2005, and 2006. Chad Reed, who would become Carmichael's primary rival, was still serving his first year in American Supercross in the then 125 class, a title he would win convincingly on his YZF 250 before joining the Premier class the following year. But first, notice that there were a scant few who could very occasionally break the Carmichael-Reed stranglehold. Yamaha-mounted Frenchman David Villemin won the first race of 2002 after Carmichael crashed hard on the sixth lap while running second, suffering a blow to the face that left him dazed and unable to continue. McGrath struggled in that opening round as well, and would continue to struggle throughout the season. Wiley veteran Mike Rolacco also managed a win in Anaheim later that same year. Upon moving up, Reed promptly threw down the gauntlet by winning the Anaheim opener of 2003. He would win again the following year on his way to the 2004 championship title. In 2005, a third player in those epic battles would join the fray in the form of one James Bubba Stewart, making his big bike Anaheim season debut. The 2005 season was billed as the perfect storm. As my friend Jason Wygant at Racer X likes to note, this Anaheim race is the only one in history with Carmichael, Reed, Stewart, Kevin Windham, plus the phenom Travis Pastrana, all sitting in the same gate. Alas, the perfect storm moniker was all too correct. Rain and wind destroyed the 2005 opening day track at Anaheim. Arguably the finest mud rider of the era, Windham would take a notable opening day victory. And then, fairly quickly, as happened, the perfect storm began to lose its wind, as first Pastrana and then Stewart blew out of the series with injuries in short order. That third player, James Stewart, would reign in Anaheim from 2006 through 2009. James would in the opener of 06 and 07, but split victories with Reed, who managed to sweep the three 2008 Anaheim rounds on his way to his second Supercross championship. And then, a surprise winner in 2009, as Yamaha's Josh Grant took a shocking opening round victory. It would be Grant's only Supercross win. Defending Supercross champion James Stewart won the 2010 opener, promising a Supercross season that would be a return to the familiar. However, that campaign went south on Stewart in short order, and rookie Ryan Nunge would win his first of 4 titles that year on a Suzuki. It was Ryan Villapoto's year in 2011. After having caught fire in the closing rounds of the previous campaign in his rookie year, Villa would win the Anaheim opening round and go on to win that year's and the next 3 Supercross championships. Villa would win the opening round in Anaheim the following year, 2012, as well. Davey Millsaps took the win on a privateer Suzuki at the 2013 opener, shocking many, including perhaps Davey. In 2014, Kenny Roczen famously joined the 450 ranks, winning the season opener on a KTM, the first of 4 times he would win opening day at Anaheim. Roczen would win again in 2015, this time on a Suzuki. Jason Anderson would rise to the occasion in 2016, though it would take another 2 years before Anderson would capture his one and only Supercross title thus far. In 2017, it was Ken Roczen yet again, but this time on a Honda. Alas, Kenny's lightning-fast start to the 2017 season would end with a big bang just 2 weeks later at the same stadium. So often the bridesmaid, KTM's Marvin Musquin would capture one of his few Supercross wins at the 2018 season opener. In 2019, Justin Barcia's 3-year streak began, with Bam Bam taking the win aboard his Yamaha. It's the first of 2 successive wins for the blue team and Barcia at the opening round of the series. In 2021, this was the shortened season due to the spiraling pandemic. Anaheim and all other California rounds were a non-starter. Houston served as the opening 3 rounds of that truncated schedule, but Marcia made it 3 for 3 for opening day, this time leading the brand spanking new Troy Lee Gas effort. When the opener moved back to Anaheim in 2022, Roczen yet again returned to the top step of the podium. Finally, Eli Tomac got his opening day win a year ago. About that. Oof. 18 times in the 50-year history of Supercross, the winner of the opening round, held at Anaheim, has gone on to win the championship. Conversely, 5-time champion Ricky Carmichael and 4-time champion Ryan Dungey never won an opening round in a championship season. And although Eli Tomac finally got his Anaheim opening round win last year, he also did not win the title. Carmichael had 8 chances between 1999 and 2007, missing the 04 race while injured. Dungey, too, had 8 shots at it from 2010 through 2017. Tomac won last year's season opener in his 10th attempt after going without an opening day win for the first 9 years of his 450 career. In 2002, Ricky Carmichael finished 21st at the opener and fought back to win the AMA Supercross Championship. Carmichael is the only rider to have surmounted such an early obstacle. Close enough, though, is James Stewart, who finished in 19th place at round 1 in 2009 before battling back to win the title. In 1997, Jeff Emig finished 6th at the opening round before winning the championship. In 1999, McGrath finished 7th at the opening race and went on to win the title. So who will win in 2024? The aforementioned battle that was to come in 2005, including defending champion Chad Reed, multi-time champion Ricky Carmichael, and the debut of perhaps the sport's all-time greatest phenomenon, James Stewart, was billed as the perfect storm. It blew out kind of early. Not to be bogged down in arguments of which era in Supercross has been the most competitive, the coming year is certainly in the argument, with myriad former champions in the field, Tomac and Webb with 2 each, Anderson, Sexton with 1 each, and multiple former race winners, not to mention many more that were in the championship level in the 250 class, plus a newly crowned world champion in the mix. The field is stacked, and Anaheim 2024 couldn't be more highly anticipated. Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, Ken Roczen, and Justin Barcia all won main events in 2023. In the soon-to-open new season, all eyes will be on Jet Lawrence and his genuine Supercross debut. Except, of course, for those who are fixated on storylines like Tomac's return from injury, or Sexton's first title defense, or Webb lining up from the same truck as Tomac. It goes on. Saturday night, the gate drops, and the first piece of the 2024 puzzle will be revealed. And hey, if you like this video, please like this video. If you'd like to see more content like this, maybe encourage a guy by giving that subscription button a tickle. Leave a comment on who you think will walk away with the 2024 Anaheim win, if you know how to type. Anyway, thanks for watching this.